As soon as you open up the box, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, you realise that although this is a very subtle design update from Apple, it's also a very beautiful one. The natural titanium colour is a brilliant example of this. It might not be as recognisable as last year's deep purple or the iPhone 13 Sierra blue, but just like Apple's silver or space grey across their computing lineup, it has a really nice way of catching the light, and it kind of changes colour depending on what perspective you are viewing it from. There are moments in the cold light of a Liverpool autumn that it does look a little bit duller than I expected, but nonetheless it is a really clean and elegant looking device. Those slightly thinner bezels and rounded edges of the phone also diffuse the light in such a way that creates a natural halo and just gives your phone that little glint that makes you feel like you're holding something special. That titanium makes it just a touch lighter. Even compared to my iPhone 14 Pro, this year's Pro Max feels very similar in the hand. It's the most comfortable iPhone that Apple has put out for a long time. And that was one big factor as to why I felt a lot more confident picking up the Pro Max this year, even though I've been sticking with the Pro models for the past couple of years. Phones are so elegant these days that it always feels a shame to leave them in a case. And I was a bit disappointed this year because Apple's range of silicone cases don't seem to have any nice colorways that play well with the natural titanium. There really didn't seem like any great options, so I ended up going for this transparent case from Otterbox. I thought it looked nice on the website, but honestly, I'm not really sure that I like it too much. The rubber doesn't feel quite as finished or even as grippy as those silicone cases, so I'm wondering about what I'm going to do next. For now, at least my phone is as safe as it can be with a toddler in the house who's recently learned how to pick my pocket. And speaking of him, my son Gabriel is one of the main reasons that I like to keep up to date with the iPhones, especially because it's the main camera that I use to take photos of him. And this year, the thing that I was the most excited by was that new camera feature which allows you to take a photograph and then convert it into a portrait photo after the fact. It's amazing how many features there are crammed into the iPhone camera app these days, but if you can actually navigate through them quickly enough, then I commend you because I absolutely cannot. And so having something like this is just a real quality of life feature that allows me to retrospectively go back and get the photo that I really wanted to take, even when I was in a frantic situation. I was also really excited to try taking videos in the new Apple log format. I think sometimes you can tell on my videos that there is a difference between the color profile of this camera and of my iPhone, and that log format hopefully will give me some more flexibility in how I actually want to color grade the iPhone footage to try and keep things a lot more consistent. And through my early tests, I'm really impressed by how flexible this new file type seems to be, and I can't wait to see how good my videos are going to start looking if I really master using this format. Haven't had too many opportunities to try out that new 5x zoom, but I will be getting out and about more over the next couple of weeks, and I'll be sure to report back in my long-term review exactly how that feature has gone down as well. One thing that people have been a little bit concerned about with this new iPhone has been overheating issues. It does sound like Apple has now resolved some of those issues with a iOS 17 update, but I definitely did notice my phone getting really hot as I was filming in that new log mode, especially having an SD card attached through the USB-C port. Even transferring my data from my iPhone 14 Pro over to the new 15 Pro Max, it got really hot as well. So I am going to be watching that too, and hopefully it's not going to be too much of an issue if Apple can sort it out. The good news is though, on my model, despite those thermal issues, I haven't noticed any problems with the battery draining too quickly. The big test for me will be going to London next week and seeing if it can handle an entire day of use from 6 AM to 11 PM without needing my battery pack. That was something that the iPhone 14 Pro often failed at. And one thing I am really excited about for that trip is that I'll no longer need to take a lightning cable with me. As long as I keep my AirPods charged up before I go, I should be able to get through the day using just a USB-C cable. And already I can tell you, it might seem like a minor update, but it's so convenient just being able to pick up any USB-C cable I've got lying around and plug it into my phone. And I have really loved just being able to plug in an SD card directly into the phone and record footage straight onto it. I think sometimes the speed of Airdrop is a little bit understated. Like on my iPhone 14 Pro, it used to be pretty rapid, to be honest, getting files over from my phone onto the computer. but you can't deny that convenience of being able to record straight onto an SD card. I think it's just such a nice feeling. I can't wait to see what cool accessories are going to come out which make the most of this USB-C port as well. Maybe the only person in the world who's a little bit sad to see the back of the silent switch, not because I ever took my phone off silent, just because I enjoyed fidgeting with it in my pocket, but at least the action button does feel like it's worthy of fidgeting with as well. And I'm hoping it's another way of just removing even more friction of me getting ideas down onto my Notion table. So that's exactly what my action button does at the moment, just opens Notion, and I'm really impressed by how quickly it does actually just get you straight into the app. Got plenty more videos coming up about the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but if you want to see some of the other iPhone videos I've done in the past, then check them out here too. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.